or the Institute of Public Relations Ghana, she talked about the 50th anniversary celebration and some of the things that they want to do to commemorate the 50th anniversary celebration, including taking a look at political communication, taking a look at how a lot of PR practitioners who are cut from the political cloth do their politics, especially as we're entering the political season. And it's very, very important. And so we're taking that conversation a bit further as we've been joined in the studio by the honorable gentleman seated right in front of me. Political communication. It's even become very necessary because recently, in the past week or so, we've been talking about the running mate of the NPP flag bearer, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and some comments that he has made, which a lot of people find distasteful, for which he has had to apologize. It becomes very critical if political parties and those who communicate for political parties are going to appeal to the masses to vote for them. They would have to do their political communication very well. More often than not in this country, we've seen a lot of political communication which is filled with insults and very, very unpalatable statements being made left, right, center. Moving forward as a country, how do we do it in a decorous manner? And how do even the political players and actors do it effectively? Mohammed Amin Lamptey, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
You've really actually sent shivers down my spine with regards to your outfits this morning.
Oh,
you look too good. I wish you were live on television. you would have gone ahead to communicate with your viewers in that angle of body language communication.
Is that so?
Very well.
Well,
thanks so much for having me.
Thank you very much for joining us here in the studio. We're very excited to have you.
Good.
How have you been?
We thank God we are surviving. And one good thing about the whole thing is that when I had a call that I need to appear on the show to talk on an issue that, by the grace of God, I have gone deeper from the, diploma level to degree level to the master's level, and probably to the MPhil level. And now a lecturer over the past 7 years, it tells me that, look, this is the time for us to open a new page. And I'm really excited with your introduction. The preamble that you gave clearly tells you and I that political communication in this country, there's a long way to go. I listened to my president, the PR president, and because there is no way that you become a perfect political communicator if you don't have PR background. Because it's all about public speaking.
Yeah.
And public speaking, there is a way of doing it. And if you want to blend it with political communication, there is a way of doing it. Because whether you like it or not, when you are into political communication, you must understand that there are areas where you need to link it with political marketing. Political marketing and also diplomatic communication. There are so many areas that we can talk about. I listened to you when I was coming, when you spoke about the communication director of the NPP, when he said something about the strike that our workers have gone through today and all that. And then if you listen to, Professor Game, the point is simple corporate communication. If you have political communication and you want to talk about certain areas, you need to understand the area, be able to identify the terminology and how to go about it. Even your tone, your body language speaks louder than anything that you see based on that area.
Right.
So it's all about corporate communication. If you want to underline what he said and link it with corporate communication, he has indeed goofed. So I'm grateful I'm here today.
Yeah, and we're grateful that you are here. And of course, we've already begun the conversation, And as we are in the political season, how much would you say that Ghanaian politicians need expert help when it comes to their public utterances? Because we have this issue of people going for campaign rallies and mounting political platforms and speaking in order to whip up their base. It's political communication, isn't it? But it demands some sort of tact and some sort of finesse to really to be able to communicate appropriately, right? Okay. So how much do some of these politicians who engage in this need experts
before the
help?
Latam, let me just give you a brief preamble of what is political communication.
Yeah.
We all know that communication is key to everything. we have environmental communication, we have corporate communication, we have business communication, we have everything. Even in your marriage and home, you need effective communication.
Yeah.
What to say, how to say, and what have you. If
we
you
are,
look at
we are entering the classroom this
exactly.
morning.
If you look at our own Creator, before He created you and I, He was communicating with His angels. Okay, before your mom took the seed and came out with you, it went through communication.
Mm-hmm.
The mother of Jesus Christ and Nabi Isa, it was communication between the angel and our grandmother. She couldn't believe that. Why? No man, how could I pick a seed?
Yeah.
He communicated with her. All the prophets that came, the Lord communicated with them. Some of them through their dreams, some of them verbally, some of them with body language. They feel they have some streets in them that would tell them that do this, don't do this. I mean, the pastors that we have today, then they would tell you that they had a call, that they should become pastors and what have you. So it means that communication is key. But when it comes to political communication, Latam is the process where you plan the content of your message. It must go through a process. And the process could be one-on-one. It could be you and the citizen. It could be you and a group. It could be you and just an individual. So the process must go through certain specific indicators. Number one, we are talking about a process of maybe trying to transmit information. Before you deliver it, you need to look at where you are, how to deliver it, and what have you. So number one, politics is sometimes downward, meaning that from the top, you communicate with the citizens via the media. And number two is upward. The citizens would also communicate with the government or any organization or political party. That is why today workers have gone on strike.
Yeah.
Meaning that in political communication, they have communicated with authority. And the third one is horizontally, meaning that if Latin belongs to A party, I belong to B party, for us to have that element of serenity in our country, we need to communicate. That is why sometimes our members of parliament, when they are on radio and television trying to debate on issues, they have different voices. They have different tactical disposition. But when they are done and they go to lunch together, when you see them, you think that they belong to the same political party. That is the horizontal one. But in Ghana today, both the downward, both the upward, and the horizontal communication in politics, we are messing up.
When you talk about messing up, I then want to ask you, what is the problem with political communication in Ghana today? What's the problem?
The problem is the one that has bedeviled journalism in this country. Undoubtedly, majority of us who are practicing journalists are untrained. It's because you are very eloquent. You speak good Twi, you speak good English, you speak good local language. You have the chance of appearing on radio or television because you are eloquent. There you go. You go out there to tell people that you're a journalist. So that is what is happening today in our political terrain. And then you have people who get into politics and you don't even know whether they actually understand what is politics. You've just mentioned it. How could you go on radio vilifying people, attacking people, insulting people, forgetting that, look, it is just a game. It's an institution where all of us are on board just to save the country. And that is why you have the national anthem. That is why you have the national pledge. That should tell you that you need to reposition yourself, reshape your communication. It's about communicating and then get the feedback, work on the feedback, and see how best you can put yourself up there. So the problem is that, look at what is in recent times. Sometimes I don't listen to radio and I don't watch television because of the utterances, the things that comes out of them. My student always asks me, say, when are we going to change the paradigm? I tell them, you guys are the game changers. Because people masquerading in our political system as political communicators. I don't know whether the political parties give them the go-ahead, they give them the green light, whether they have a process that people will be scrutinized before they will be given the license to go and say they are political communicators.
Yeah, but what should even happen in that regard? Because obviously these political party communicators, one would say, are aligned as to the various issues that are happening and how they should go about it. In order to do it properly, what should political parties be looking at? What should political parties be doing? How should they be equipping the people who communicate on their behalf to do proper political communication?
You see, the most significant thing about life when you want to delve into communication is you need to understand who you are. We have different types of communication. We have verbal, we have non-verbal, and we have written. Now, we have even got ourselves into body language communication. That time when I entered, your outfit communicated with me. You will not say A or B to Amin Lamptey, but you've communicated. It's part of public speaking. When I'm lecturing people regards to public speaking, I comment on all these areas. So the point here is that before you get yourself into political communication, you need to understand yourself, who you are. And then you must also take time to look at your SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So as a communicator, I need to know myself. When it comes to verbal, I'm good. When it comes to writing, I'm not good. That is why, journalistically, graphically, at Ghanaian Times, a reporter will not write a story and it will publish. It will go through the process. Sub-editors, managing editor, the editor, proofreader, and then you have the proofreader who are studying linguistic, and it goes to the legal department to check the story whether there is any element of defamation before it's published. And that is journalism. So the same way, as a political party, if you want to come up with people to help in communicating your policy, in trying to defend your policy, in trying to reposition a political party, identify the right people. It's not about eloquency. You have today look at our political terrain. Majority of those who are at the forefront of our politics are not communicators. They are not trained communicators. Yes, they are good when it comes to writing, when it comes to talking on TV and radio. But let's look at the ethical value of political communication, whether they have it. Do they know how to go about the content, how to go about the message, how to go about the production, how to go about identifying the right person to go and deliver, how to go about when the delivery is done, when you are back on your drawing table, how to identify the loopholes and see that JDM, when he had an encounter with the media, he did very, very well. Very eloquent, he answered all the questions, but somebody with that political eye or political communication eye, I would identify some flaws. But we don't have them. People go on radio and television. When they are done, you have people applauding them, elogizing them, bootlicking them, and they think that they have done a great job. But these are the things that can take your party into hibernation. So I think that what needs to be done is that let's get the right people. When we get the right people, let's identify those who have the passion. There are those who are into political communication just because they want to market themselves. A lot of them have been given position, and I can give an example of so many. Francis SM, and then all those who are occupying certain company, PR or whatever, those who don't even have any qualification in PR, they are those occupying this position because they went on air, lambasting, castigating Latem. So the party will say, oh, this guy is very strong. He's very good. Is this, is that. And the next point in trying to analyze political communicators, we have different style of communicators, Latem. Number one, we have aggressive communicators. One example that I can give you recent time is Kennedy Ajapon. But it looks like now he's shifting the goalposts, and I'll get to that one. And we have passive communicators. And we have passive-aggressive communicators. And then we have what? Assertive communicators. So if you have people who are representing you when it comes to going out there to talk about your political party, to talk about your running mate, to talk about your flag bearer, you need to know who they are. So when you have a message, maybe I know this guy is very aggressive. I wouldn't allow him to go out there, because when I allowed him to go, he will go and mess up. He will muddy the waters. So I will not allow him to talk. Let me let this guy go, because this guy is very assertive. You understand what I'm saying? All these things, we don't know them. And when it comes to political communication, Latin, we have propaganda techniques. We have propaganda techniques that we need to apply. So a lot of people are applying them directly, indirectly, without knowing. And there are times that I need to use agenda setting to run my affairs as a political party. There are times that I have to use name calling. There's times that I have to use bandwagon. All these things people don't know. So they go on air, they go on radio, you see them sweating under air condition, trying to defend the indefensible. So that is where we are. So it is about time that we need to open a new page. By the grace of God, I'm blessed. I'm not really trying to blow my own trumpet. People can go out there to my university and do the check-in. Students who have graduated from that university who pursue communication, PR, marketing, and journalism, you can engage them and see how they have turned things around.
Right.
It is important we have to learn.
Right. So in all of this, why should the political parties care when it seems as though what they've been doing all this while has been working for them? It looks like they feel like it's been working for them, and that's how it's done, and that's how it's been done since time immemorial. So why should we change?
We have to change because of the advent of social media. Today, look at our politicians. 8 years ago, when I came looking for your vote, I said certain things because I want to persuade you. I would tell lies. Today, it will play back to you. So it means that we must understand that with the advent of social media and technology, things have changed. So when you are asking someone to go on radio, remember, now radio is more or less like, hybrid. You have radio and then you have it on social media. There are radio stations that even connect with your TV station, and then you are live on radio and television. So it means that with regards to your body language, your demeanor, the content and your delivery, it must change. Look at what is going on today in this world. All of us, when we were kids and we know politics, it's about you getting there to enrich yourself, to get money.
Yeah.
So that is the perception. So anybody who wants to come on board, the person may come through as a communicator, somebody may come through as whatever it is, as somebody who is a macho person, who go into violence. There are people that they are ready to kill for a political party to win and all that. All these things, we need to strengthen the rough edges. By strengthening the rough edges, we need to begin with politics, political communication, political marketing. So for me, I think that the most important thing in regards to your question is that, yeah, it is good for you yesterday, but it would never be good for you today. Look at today, the NDC are telling John Dramani Mahama not to even engage, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for whatever it is. Debate.
Yeah.
Do you know the reason? But if this were to be yesterday, Nana Akufo-Addo and John Dramani Mahama had a debate, all the past presidents, there are times that they had a debate. Why today? Because they realize that with the advent of social media, there are so many channels of communication. If you don't come to debate with me, there are so many things that I can do to survive. So we should not say that what we were doing in the past, it gave us some pluses, so we need to stay there. No, things are changing. Look at what is happening in the United States. Biden and then Trump.
Yeah.
Just a debate. Now, Biden has created some kind of, uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's like we just have to get him down and get someone to replace him through communication. So the most important thing for all of us to know is that let's get the right people. Majority of the guys who are at the forefront of our communication, political communications, they are not qualified individuals. Yeah, they are gifted. They are talented. So I agree with that one. But there are certain things that you need to know. Certain signifiers and indicators that we have. When I want to bring it out, you will shock to your marrow. That is why Latin, when politicians have press conference, I don't go there. I watch them on television. Just take a look at when JDM interacted with the press a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Number one, if you want to juxtapose that to public speaking, I will give him about 95%.
95%?
95%, yes.
Why? What
Number
are the
one,
metrics?
look at the outfits. He has communicated with the press or with the public. Number two, look at his posturing. Number two, look at his demeanor. And then number four, look at the delivery. And look at the way he answered the questions. Look at the precision. Look at the simplicity. And then look at the simple language that he applied. And look at the response from the media. When he's answering questions, cameras would be directed at those who ask the questions. And if you look at their body language, it speaks volume of they being convinced or their questions being answered. So if you look at JD, and within 3 hours, he answered how many questions? And these are the areas that are very critical in our country. So that is what I'm saying, that when it comes to public speaking, if I want to indicate all the areas, he would score about 95% when it comes to my verdict.
Right.
And then one interesting thing that I admire about him is that, you know, in answering the question, there are questions that if this were to be another person, the person would be very aggressive. Very, very aggressive.
He was calm about it.
He was very calm about it. He took his time and it was very clear. And look at his running mate. When she was introduced to the public, look at her delivery. She is somebody who is into linguistics. She's one of the people who have paraded and then guided some of us to this level. Look at her delivery. So when you also want to shift that into public speaking, she has also scored almost about 98%. The delivery, the language. So if you want to get into the interpretative style of writing a story, you know what to say. Okay? And then you look at what happened in Kumasi. What happened in Kumasi Latem? And that is where all of us, it's not about because it's MPP. It's a learning curve to all of us.
Yeah, but what happened in Kumasi? I mean, before we even get to, because there were a number of people who spoke. Kennedy Japan spoke, spoke to the base. I mean, we had the president speak, we had the vice president speak before we had the flag bearer speak. That sequence of political communication at a rally which is supposed to appeal to the base of that particular party, what did you see in there?
It was really a misplace of priority. They misplaced their priority.
How so?
And they shot themselves in the foot.
How so?
Now, Latem, look at the atmosphere. At Santihini, look at the atmosphere, look at the value added to the political party that is ruling the country today with all the challenges that people have raised. At Santihini, let's begin from him. Let me begin from the President of the Republic. In political communication, his style of delivery, his posturing, his demeanor was not good.
How?
How? Because he has no business in introducing the running mate for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Bawumia is squarely in the saddle today. In political marketing, the president could be described, I'm saying could be described, as an expiring commodity. A commodity that is almost at the edge of leaving the market. So the person that needs to be well marketed is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
But he was there. He talked about where he picked Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia from, why he brought him on board.
Not that.
And how he can vouch for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and how he can vouch for Napo before Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia came on and then called Napo to come.
That page has been closed. He should have done this when Bawumia was looking for the slots to convince delegates to vote for Bawumia.
Well, but he decided, would it have been proper in terms of politics for him to have done that? Because there are many other people who were vying for the position. And because of that, they even were falling out, where one major member of the party left the party and has formed his own movement.
Exactly.
So, what would it have communicated if the president had been seen to be openly supporting a particular candidate?
That is the point that I mean. He has no business in, saying a word at that event. He could probably come out with more or less like maybe some vote of thanks to the Santehene for hosting them. Because the issue about how he picked Bawumia and then coming to tell Ghanaians how he identified the running mates, made him Minister of Education.
Yes.
We all know what is happening with our education today. And then catapulted him into a Minister of Energy.
Yes.
We all know the situations about energy today.
You don't think that was necessary?
It was not necessary.
For the president of the land who wants his political party to stay in power.
Look at the way
to be communicating to the people about all of this.
Look at the way he eulogized the running mates.
Yes.
It was like licking his boots. That is my opinion. Because what he did for me...
But that's not what the president is supposed to do.
Not
politically speaking.
Politically speaking,
so that the people that he's speaking to will see that, I've been president, I've worked with these people, and I can vouch for them.
And I'm saying that the timing was wrong, the platform was wrong, was not the right platform for him to have said that. And secondly, now look at Asantehene. Look at his delivery. And this is purely effective communication. He sounded like a political communicator. He actually owned
Asantehene.
Yep.
I mean, he was giving Napo advice.
Yes, before he even came out with his delivery, he said it. He made a point that there are so many misconceptions, misinformation going around about you. So ABCD have already interacted with you behind the scene. Now I'm doing that publicly. Now, last time when after the show, although everybody who's watching us should go back to the video. As a political communicator, expert in political communication, I also understand body language. I'm also lecturing that area. Mm-hmm. Last time, you go and watch it. Okay, you can even off the volume or you off the sound.
And look at the body language.
Look at the body language. When Asantehene was communicating with him, advising him, go and check his facial outlook. So it clearly tells you that Napo did not understand what his uncle was telling him. Just after the advice, how many hours in between the time for him to have gone on the stage to have made that statement against the first president of this republic? It just really created a lot of problems. The statement that he made, it got to the point that he got choked. Whatever that he wanted to say, you know the content of what he said. It was terrible. Now let's look at the aftermath. Mm-hmm. Okay? The aftermath is what really shocked me. As a PR expert, his communications director, Fifi Boafo. Mm-hmm. I was really shocked. I never expected him to have gone there because he's my colleague. I know him. We're together. But as a PR person in PR, when something happened, last time you need to be very critical and very analytical in the issue. Okay, my boss goofed. Tell him, boss, you know what? You've goofed. So just come out. From that angle, if Fifi Boafo had come out to apologize, that, what my boss said, yes, indeed, this issue would have died a natural death. But what did we see? He came out defending the indefensible. Because when you have an element that you need to do a damage control, for an individual, an organization, a political party, you must admit the flaws.
So he should have admitted that.
Exactly. I'll get there. He didn't admit. He came out and trying to defend the indefensible, elogizing his boss that what he said was true or not. There are evidence. We have verifiable materials that we can go through to know what he said, whether it's true or not. Let's put that aside. After some few days, look at how experts, professors came out to make the point that what he said was not the best. And later on, he came to apologize.
Yes. Is that not a good...
It was wrong. The timing was wrong.
Is that not a good political communication strategy?
In communication, when you delay, especially in PR, what happened is all about PR. It's not about political communication here. What happened was purely PR. They should have taken their time, look at the issues, analyze it, and be able to know how to go about it. Because you, Fifi Boafo, the PR person, the communicator for the running mate, you know, the SWOT management of your boss. His strength, you know his weaknesses, and you know the opportunities that is there for him to become the vice president of this republic. And you know there are so many threats coming around from the opposition, from people who don't like him. Alan Chamantin has crossed over, is no more with the party. Some people are not happy with the MPP and what have you. So these are the threats. How do you handle it? And after he has come to apologize, that a lot of people did not really accept the apology. Myself, I did not really accept the apology because he has disrespected the Asantehene. He has disrespected Bawumia. Do you know that Bawumia went to a campaign trail? Do you know what he said there? He was even bringing the comparison, the comparative analysis of, of his party and the opposition. Because Nkrumah is not alive. His party is not in contention with MPP. So if you want to do any comparison, compare the 7.5 years that the MPP has served this country to what the opposition NDC is saying. That was what he said. And then just yesterday, One of the prominent political figures in this country, a former chairman of the NPP, McMahon, coming out to say that what Napo said, there's nothing wrong with that, and that will never deny NPP from winning the elections. Hey, if you want to equate this within the political
but is there anything wrong with that? I mean, if it is his opinion that President Akufo-Addo has done very well for this country, and he sees President Akufo-Addo as the best president, that has ever governed this country, is he not entitled?
It's entitled
to that opinion.
It's entitled.
Can he not express
it? It is not about what you say; it's how you say it. It's not about. He would have said that without mentioning the first president. He would have mentioned that without going into any comparison analysis. Mm-hmm. He would have said Latem is the best presenter I've ever seen. You don't compare him with anyone. So it is your responsibility. You have the prerogative to know how to couch your message, when and how to deliver it. Even that statement, you would have delivered this statement not in Kumasi, in a different fora. But because that knowledge is not there, the know-how is not there, people don't know the do's and don'ts of political communication. So we think that we can say anything anyhow, the way we want it, and go scot-free. Because we don't have a system that is really scrutinizing what we see on radio and television. So Latem, I think that the time has come. All our communicators will think that when I go on radio attacking Latem, attacking Amin Lamptey, attacking Dr. Mahmoud Baumi, attacking John Dramani Mahama, is what we get vote. Ghanaians are now very, very sophisticated. They are very sophisticated and very, very dynamic. So if you think that you will not come and say anything that you want to say and go scot-free, people are independent-minded. They are open-minded. They can read in between the line. If you go and check the literacy percentage of Ghana today is over 80. It means that in the past that you have almost about 50, now it's 80. So if you think that when you're on radio, when you're on social media, when you are on television, whatever that you say, it is meant for all your supporters. There are people with neutral minds. Those who are just there, floating, they are just there. When they listen to Latem, they listen to Amin, they will make their own critical analysis. It is not about listening to him and that's it. No. And that is why in political communication, we apply propaganda techniques. And I was telling you.
Yes, there are propaganda techniques.
Yeah. So for me, I think that...
are the propaganda techniques good? Because propaganda is, sort of saying things that are not really true or are half true just to hoodwink the people.
No, that is not true. Propaganda techniques is exactly what advertisers... You were running a promo right there.
Yes.
So that promo, if I want to do a critical analysis, it is embedded in propaganda techniques. Yeah, because I'm persuading you.
Yes.
You may even have a product that is not good for me.
Yes, but I'm persuading you.
But you're persuading me. Even sometimes you may have the message for the promo, but you need a voice, a notable voice that when that voice is added to the message, people out there will be convinced, they'll be persuaded. Let me give you one. We have name calling. It's a propaganda techniques. And that was what the MPP did. When Rawlings was in power, before President Kufuor came in 2000.
Even with Professor Mills, right?
Come again?
Even with Professor Mills.
Yes, name calling.
And President John Mahama.
Exactly, it's name calling. They were using name calling.
Incompetent.
Yes, they used the name calling. After using the name calling, and then they were able to achieve their aims with bandwagon. It's also a propaganda technique that I'm calling you to come and join me because I've said a lot about my opponent, Yatisikaso, name calling. Name calling. NDC is also sometimes using name calling, and that is what NDC is doing today. Look at Honorable Ablakwa, the expose. And people don't know that his wife, she was a journalist and then went to study law.
Yeah.
So whatever the gentleman does in his room, she was my junior at Choice FM and Metro TV. She would direct him journalistically, let's do this, we shouldn't do this. And legally, she would also advise him. Latem, let me give you 3 critical things that you and I as journalists, we need to understand and abide by it. Number 1 is professional responsibility.
Yeah, that's true.
Professional responsibility, when you lack it, that is how come a journalist will be in the studio trying to be one-sided. No fairness. The person is not critical. The person is always one-sided and making sure that he or she, as a paymaster, let me just do for the person. You don't have professional responsibility. The legal responsibility is that the story you are putting out there, you must make sure that there's no element of defamation. Because if you're not careful, somebody may take you to court. We see that every single day. And the social responsibility, the third one, is that the information given out to people, make sure is verifiable. And that is why what I'm doing today, I'm trying to link it to certain things that you out there listening to me can also go and do your own research. So we also have another one that we call testimonial. Testimonial is that somebody will come and tell you that time, when NDC was in power, A, B, C, D. So vote for them. We have a lot of musicians, celebrities coming out to do that one. And then we also have emotional appeal.
Yeah.
It's a propaganda techniques. And we also have something like transfer. We have cut stacking. Cut stacking is that I'll come and I'll give you half information about Baumia. That there are certain things negative about him I will never tell you.
Yeah.
Because I want you to vote for him.
Of course.
There are so many propaganda techniques that we apply. But most of them who are communicating, they don't know them. So you see them doing it anyhow. When you sit down and observe them and listen to them, and you say that, look, some of them need to go back to school.
How time flies when you're having a conversation and you're enjoying the conversation. Unfortunately, we'll have to be wrapping up at this point in time. And I think that we can pick up on this at another time here on Starr 103.5 FM because we should be able to pick it up. It's important that we do this and we do it well. But I'll take a final word from you before we wrap this up.
The final word is that I would have wished to delve into that diplomatic communication.
Being very diplomatic.
Exactly. Yeah, that is one thing that we need to all understand, that when you are into political communication, diplomatic communication is that I must be a very good listener. Listen to Latin. Not that when I'm on radio or television with you, when we are discussing an issue, I interject you unnecessarily. I'll say things, I'm swearing to God and saying certain things that are even not achievable. So diplomatic communication is about how to make sure that you communicate with people with respect, and then you must make sure that it is all about views and opinion.
I think
opinions
we need more
like
of that.
knows exactly. And then finally, what some of the politicians are doing today, especially JDM and his people, is they are blending political communication and political marketing. Let him, regardless of who you are, if you want to go on stage and talk about politics, about people to vote for you, what have you, you must know that you are marketing yourself. And that is why I'm elogizing you this morning with your outfit. Because if it is on the political platform, a lot of people would vote for you because of your outfit.
Because of how I'm dressed.
Sometimes because of your tone. Sometimes because of the choice of words. Sometimes because of those who are behind you. Sometimes it's because of where you are coming from. Sometimes it's because of a historical antecedent. Sometimes because of your steady rise. So I think that we need more time. We talk about political communication. Let me first of all thank you so much for having me.
We'll get more time.
And let me thank everybody who supported me. I was a school dropout. Latem, and I decided to play football. One day I told myself, go back to school. Latem, going back to school today.
And here we are.
The level that I am, I'm a lecturer for the past 7 years. I lecture journalism, PR, communication, and marketing. I'm into political communication, political marketing. And very soon I'm delving deep into environmental communication.
Wow.
So glory be to God. Thank you so much for having me.
Glory be to God Almighty. And we're so grateful that he joined us, and we've enjoyed a conversation with you this morning. Mohammed Amin Lamptey, lecturer at the Islamic University College. We'll have you again.
Thank you very much.
We'll definitely have you again. You're still listening to Starr 103.5 FM.